Hello everyone, my name is Revonlieke and welcome back to Dark Souls 2 Let's Play. I'm not sure why. Actually, I need to check that out, because it seems to be doing something weird about the... It seems like the Oh yeah, it puts the... This I need to change actually to that. There you go. Alright. Every time I stop or stop recording or start recording, the Autodesk goes on. Alright, so on last episode we left off with the items that we need to actually check. There's a lot of items already. Oh my god, so much lore to read. So much lore. So much lore. So much lore. So much lore. Alright, let's go through all of these. So, human effigy first. As you saw in the beginning, human effigy basically represent yourself somehow. And we did, yes, get the first effigy on the... Even though we didn't take effigy, so right now if we would have taken the effigy gift, we would have 2 effigies. So that's something. And I think E, yeah. Human effigy, a warm, soft, shady-like effigy. Use this item to reverse hollowing. It also weakens the links to other worlds, preventing invasions and most cooperation. Peer closely at an effigy, and one begins to perceive a human form, but whose form it takes depends on the person looking. Indeed. So, there's not much to it other than gameplay aspects, and some about the who looks at the effigy and what it represents to them. Usually it represents the person itself. And since we are all undead or cursed in a way, and what was I saying? We don't have souls, so basically these effigies represent our souls as ourselves, if that makes sense. Alright, so life gems. There's not much to it. Small stone made of crystallized souls gradually restores a small amount of HP. Often found near abandoned corpses as if they were what remains of the soul. That's actually quite neat. So it would be something like the souls that we receive from the ground here. These are 2 souls. When they gradually get older and older, they get weaker and eventually they become life gems. That's actually quite neat. Amber herb, an annual herb with amber color so deep it gives the impression of luminescence, restores a small number of spell uses. It is the mistaken belief of many that the flower of this herb do not blossom. However, small white flowers do blossom during dusk, or when the moon is visible. That is interesting. It could... some people might want to like connect this somehow to Dusk in Dark Souls 1. There's a person called Dusk. I don't see the connection because it's not Dusk in a capital D, so I wouldn't connect it that way. Divine Blessing. Holy water endowed with the Divine Blessing curses status effects and fully restores HP. Water blessed by an ancient goddess. Her name is long forgotten, and the Magic Academy of Melfia denies ever her existence. In any age, there are those who refuse to see reason. It is their meddling that distorts the truth. Indeed, so this is very similar to any other religion in my belief that when there is one religion, there will always be something to oppose that religion. And when someone believes in some higher god, there will be always the opposite force to actually deny the god. and those that deny it will always meddle with the truth. That's very simple, and this is also a connection to Dark Souls 1. The ancient goddess that is mentioned here could be Guinevere. That is the giant woman in Anor Londo. But since this doesn't, well, since people know about it, I would say it's Guinevere, because Guinevere herself left the Anor Londo to the land of gods. So I would say it's Guinevere. You could connect any other ancient goddess to this, like whatchamacallit, crossbreed Princilla, for example. She's a female and kind of a goddess. You could connect that to her. And also Gwyndolin, but Gwyndolin is a man, so that's questionable if he is a goddess, but he does dress up like a woman, so there's that. I'm sorry I'm referring a lot of Dark Souls 1 lore that is actually not in my videos in YouTube or anything, and I haven't fully covered those points, but I hope that if you're watching these episodes you kind of learn those aspects as well. Dark Sign. An accursed mark, the Dark Sign induces death, returning the player to the last bonfire rested at the cost of souls held. Do what you must to gather the pieces, scrapping them into some semblance of a whole, before the will to do so fades. Do what you must to gather the pieces, scraping them into some semblance of a whole. I don't see any lore aspects to this other than gameplay. That doesn't really tell me anything. Rusted coin. An old rusted coin. Crushing the coin temporarily boosts luck. This rusted coin gives you that little extra bit of luck, making items and the like easier to find. The coin is engraved with the image of a god that was worshipped in ancient times, but no one knows its true origin. This is something that is connected to, I believe, Godfather Lloyd, if I'm not completely wrong about it. In Dark Souls 1 there's also rusted coins, or coins, different variations of it, but I'm not completely sure. I think in Dark Souls 1 it had more lore to it than that, because time has passed, so of course some lore aspects are completely removed. Soul of the Lost Undead. Soul of Lost Undead who has long ago gone hollow, used this to acquire souls. The soul is the source of all life, and even in undeath or hollowing, the mind seeks souls. The mind will always seek souls. That is one theme of the Dark Souls. And something that always keeps confusing people is this concept of the curse, undeath and hollowing. They are all somehow linked, somehow the same thing, but still they are different, completely different ideas, and it is hard to think about it, what it actually means. I will try to explain how I see it. The undeath are basically persons who will eventually hollow. They will lose their soul, or they have lost their souls, but they will eventually completely forget about their souls and become completely hollow. But they are branded undeath because of the curse and the dark sign that they have. They have an actual dark sign somewhere on their body. So that dark sign will bound them to eternal life, basically to die over and over and over again without turning hollow, but staying undead until they find something to live for, or something to, or when they finally like give up. But even when they give up, they will never actually hollow. So when we see some hollow NPCs, or rather when we see some corpses, dying corpses or something like that, that are attacking us, those are hollowed. They don't have the dark sign to keep them alive, so they will completely lose their sanity. This is just a soul of a nameless undead soldier who has same description. Cracked red eye orb, online play item. Invaders invade other worlds. Defeat the master of the world you have invaded to acquire the token of spite. The residual sins of those who have succumbed to the dark temptations are contained in the form of the cracked red eye orb. So residual sins of those who have succumbed. So basically, when you do some bad deed, basically you can't actually do any bad deeds in this game, but if you go the dark, basically start learning hexes and stuff like that, or actually attack NPCs, that is actually a sin you can actually do in this game. You can kill NPCs, but that's not like you grow horns or something in Fable style, but you can still do bad things, and I guess those residual sins are what actually creates these cracked red eye orbs. Black separation crystal, a symbol of farewells that has been passed down since time immemorial. The crystal sends phantoms back to their homes or sends you back to yours. Whether ending in hope or despair, encounters are valuable experiences. Beware fickle use of this item. There's nothing game or lore aspects in this. Symbol of farewells that has been passed down since time. Yeah, there's nothing. Then there's Bone of Order. Online play item. You will be punished for fleeing from other worlds by disconnecting unjustly. However, this charm will disperse the ire directed at you. But sins are not easily buried, and there's no telling if you will be let off so easily next time. Each encounter in life is a precious turn of fate, and fate will not be cheated. So if you are invaded or something, you can use this item to actually leave the invade zone, basically, or disconnect the invader from your world completely. And that is considered a sin, and you could say that every time you use this, one of these will actually be created. Could be the case. Alright, so weapons. I'm sorry, this episode will be mostly about lore, I guess. 15 minutes about talking about it. But I do want to fully cover this, and eventually when we start to get items like one at a time, I will go through them as we get them, so it will be a lot more faster than this. Alright, so let's go through here. A dagger. A standard dagger has only modest attack and short reach. There's nothing really lore based here. Has only modest chopped attacks with power. Yeah, there's nothing. This straight sword is sufficient in most respects, effective in most situations. Those who aspire to master the sword are certain to wield this in some point during the journey. I'm sorry, I'm not reading correctly, but I'm going through if there's any lore aspects. Morning stars, normally wielded by clerics, but clearly intended to draw blood, of course. Binoculars. Here's something, a rare tool crafted in Volgan. These won't help you in battle, but with little creativity you can put them in good use. And then there is this cleric skirt sign. To use miracles, equip a scared chime and 2 miracles at the bonfire. The strength of most miracles is affected by the caster's faith. A catalyst for miracles and hexes. So you can do both. With this you can do hexes and miracles with this. That's actually quite nice. Alright, usually armors have more lore aspects to them. Alright, full elemental and a little more. The cursed soul who wanders the land has a strange way of ending up here, as if drawn from afar by some force. Yes, indeed. So some force is drawing every single undead to Trang Lake, somehow. Or at least in Machula. Yeah. Falconer armor. Domestic Volgan soldiers are infamously timid, so it is no wonder that this fierce band of mercenary falconers was hired to compensate. In practice, they serve as bodyguards for the affluent elite, and they serve well, such that nobody dares scrutinize their backgrounds. That is actually interesting. Volgan is one of those areas in Dark Souls world that isn't actually mentioned in Dark Souls 1 at all, I think. But in Dark Souls 2 they are. Actually, it is a place. But what does this mean? Like, so it is no wonder that this fierce band of mercenary falconers was hired to compensate. What were they hired to compensate? Maybe the arrival of every single undead into into Machula, or into this land of Trang Lake, whatever this is called. I can't remember even what it is. Maybe they compensate the amount of people that arrive here somehow. It is actually that I can tell you this in New Game Plus, when you arrive into when you jump in the intro sequence, you jump into the hole and you arrive in this area. There's a bunch of falconers actually trying to attack you for some reason, and that's one way of looking how they compensate. But yeah. I think this is now an episode, and we will go through all the dialogue and stuff like that, so keep that in mind, and we will see you guys on the next episode. I do hope you enjoy these episodes, of course. So if you liked the video, hit that like button. If you didn't, you know what to do. If you feel like these videos are worth it and you love lore aspects of Dark Souls 2, feel free to subscribe and stuff like that, all that good jazz. Anyhow, we will see you guys on the next episode, so bye bye.